Hey everyone, welcome back to Poplar Preparedness. I am here actually standing inside the Missouri River. I'm just outside St. Louis, and you can see the main channel, the Missouri River there, but this should be one of the side channels of the Missouri River. I should be about waist deep in water right here, as best I can tell. That's pretty serious, and it's dry ground. It's dry ground. I got nothing but dirt here. But the main channel here is used for barges. We're just a few miles north of St. Louis. So this is where the Missouri River comes into where the Mississippi River is. That's the final lock and dam of the Mississippi River down there. And everything above that in the Mississippi River is controlled, and they're actually able to keep getting barges through there. But everywhere from the Mississippi River there down south is where we're really seeing the issues. All the way out to the Gulf of Mexico, we have barges who are getting stacked up in places that need to be dredged. The channel is getting narrower. The channel is getting a lot shallower. They're not fully loading the barges anymore, and you have to understand that one barge is I believe 190 trains full of goods. So when you have one tugboat pushing 25 barges, you're talking about a ton of whatever it is, rice or beans, soybeans, or you're talking about grain. And a lot of places up north here is like South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska. They're used to storing grains and soybeans on site and piling them up on their farms. They have the equipment and the expertise to do that, as well as the weather that is conducive to that. But the farmers down south of here have a lot higher temperatures. Today it was in the 80s as we were driving over here. Like I said, we're in St. Louis, Missouri, and everything south of here, they're getting a lot higher temperatures. Soybeans that are being piled on the ground, grain that's being piled on the ground, corn that's being piled on the ground is actually going bad out there. So as you can see, the Missouri River channel out here, there are barges that are moving through these days, and there aren't any right here right now. We saw a bunch of barges piling up waiting for the locks to open down in St. Louis, and that's definitely kind of what we're seeing here. But everything up north of here is having challenges getting the barges to go through, and they're having to unload the barges. They're not putting nearly as much goods in the barges. In some cases, they're underloading them by 50%. So only 50% of the cargo going on those barges, and in other places they're not pushing 25 boats anymore on the tugs. They're actually pushing 15 to 18 barges per tug, and that's also changing how many barges are going through. The barge rates are going through the roof. They're going parabolic right now. Farmers are being forced to store grains, soybeans. They're being rejected at the elevators. They're having to truck it right back to their farms, and they have nowhere to put it. They don't have the capacity, they don't have the expertise, and they don't have the weather to store those crops in their on their farms. Folks, what we're seeing here is it doesn't matter if the harvest is 100% what it should be. The simple fact is that if you harvest it and it rots on the field in a pile, that's a problem. We're losing hundreds of, possibly even millions of tons of grains, of soybeans this year if we can't get this river up. And we can't get this river up. It's spritzing right now on me, but this whole area is in a severe drought. That's why there's no water here. It's not a simple thing. You can't flip a switch. In the Missouri River here, there are no locks and dams uphill. This is free flowing, which means what comes, right? And that's why I'm standing in the middle of the Missouri River in dirt, because there is no water here. You usually have to walk on this like island built up rockway in order to get to this island over here, and it's just, the whole thing is just dried up. When we see these type of things happening, the effect on our food supply system is very, very real. It's not moving to be exported, but that doesn't mean it's just going to stay here in the United States. It means prices for wheats, soybeans, corn are skyrocketing. We're going to see that on particularly the exports first, but as it starts coming home, how much has rotted. What happens is when they pile it up on the ground, that bottom layer is often lost. And oftentimes the upper parts of that can also be lost depending on how long it stays piled there before they can export it. And like I said, a lot of these farmers don't have the rings, they don't have the tarps, they don't have all the equipment in order to pile it properly on the ground. And so that is going to cause huge losses. We need to be paying attention to these things because the food security situation is rapidly devolving here in the United States as well as around the world. You need to be stocking up on food, taking care of your family, taking care of your loved ones. I hope that me actually coming out here and showing you where you can see it with your own eyes, what it looks like, how bad things are. This is water that's not dropping on crops. This is water that's not able to be used for navigation for these barges. This is water that we just don't have this year. And in other places in the country, that's water that can't be used to generate electricity. All right, folks, if you found this video useful, helpful, you might want to check out another video from me right up here. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Steve Poplar out.